Jamuna tira bono Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Hare Krishna. So, we would like to welcome all the participants for this weekly association of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. We hope you all would be nicely situated at your places and taking advantage of this auspicious month of Kartik. And we are very fortunate to hear from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj today. Every week on Thursday, we hear together from Guru Maharaj from 8 to 9 a.m. And today is the fifth session of the seminar, Stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we request all the devotees to kindly hear very attentively and participate very enthusiastically. At the end of the seminar, there will be a quiz. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Once Draupadi was very badly treated by the general of King Virat, who was actually his brother-in-law. And he was very powerful, and he was the general, and he was so powerful that Virat was always afraid of him and didn't dare to go against him. His name was Kichak. So Kichak was became attracted by this Sairindri. Sairindri means you can say beauty queen, beauty what's called hairdresser or beauty aid. who kind of used to dress the queen up, do her hairdressing and beautification. So Kichak, once he came to his sister's place and saw Sairendri, he became attracted and he proposed to her. But she tried to. But then once she told her sister to send her to his palace. And although Swairendri, Draupadi, didn't want to go, but she was forced to, and with an assurance that no, nothing will happen to you, etc. But when she went there, Kichak tried to act smart with her. And we can see that although he was a general, must have been so powerful. So when he approached her, she pushed him, and he fell on the ground. So you can see even the women were so powerful, the Kshatriya women. And then she ran into the king in the assembly. When the king was there with Yudhishthir Maharaj playing dice. And Kichak came, and in front of Yudhishthir Maharaj and King Virat, he kicked her. Yudhishthir Maharaj tolerated it. But when Bhim got to know, actually Draupadi told Bhima that, look, my heart is burning due to that insult. Please do something about it. Then Bhima said, okay, you do one thing. You tell him to come to the newly built auditorium, Natyashala, at night, and you will be waiting for him. You'll be waiting for him. So he was very excited. So he went there. In the darkness of night, he didn't see who was there. So he thought that it was Draupadi. But who was actually lying was Bhima on that bed, literally waiting for him. And a fight ensued. And it was a little far away, so nobody could hear any sound of their fight. And Bhima beat him up in such a way. Actually, Bhima, all his anger that pented up for last 13 years, he vented that on him. Just kept on. He beat him up in such a way that he couldn't be identified as anything. It was just a lump. The flesh, bone, everything was smashed into just a ball of, whatever you call, a ball of minced meat. And then they found out what actually happened. And when they found out that Sairendri was the cause of that, they decided that since Kichak left his body desiring her, she should also be thrown into the fire to go with him. So again, Bhim came, and the procession that was carrying his body, along with Draupadi, he finished them all. And Draupadi said, look, be careful, because my husband is a Jaksha, a very powerful Jaksha. So he was calling him, Bhima, by his another name, not Bhima. They had different names for each other. So Bhima, hearing her cry, came out and saw what was going on, that they were carrying her to be also cremated along with Kichak. So Bhima, along with the whole battalion of soldiers and all these people, just there, he finished them all up. So this is how powerful these Kshatriyas used to be. Anyway, so when Duryodhan, who had some enmity with King Virat, got to know that, then he decided to, now that Kichak is dead. So the kingdom is completely without any military protection. So this is the time to attack. So Duryodhana's allies were three Garthas. So they attacked the kingdom of Virat. So Virat, along with the Pandavas, like the Pandavas came forward saying that, well, I can help you. I am good at this warrior. I am good at that. And so they went and fought the three Garthas. And in the meantime, Duryodhana, along with his soldiers, came from the other side and attacked the kingdom. And King Virat had an illustrious collection of cows. So they wanted to steal the cows. And there was no male member in the family. The only male member was Virat's son, Uttar. And Uttar, he was just a little boy. Not a little boy, rather young, 14, 15-year-old boy. So Uttar just kept on bragging that, I wish I had someone to drive my chariot. Then I would have taught this Kauravas. They dared to attack our kingdom. So then Brihannala, Arjun, in disguise as a eunuch, told Uttara, just go and tell them that I know how to ride a chariot. And once I drove Arjun's chariot. So they said, okay, then he can drive my chariot. So they were driving the chariot. But when Uttar came close to the enemy line, he saw it was like an ocean, an endless ocean of soldiers. So seeing that, he became afraid. He jumped out of the chariot and ran. Arjun ran after him, caught him, and said, look, you just drive the chariot. You just control the horses, I will fight. And saying that, Arjun actually kept his weapons in a shalmali tree. So he went and got the weapons from there, and with Uttar driving the chariot, came into the enemy line. And fighting alone, he defeated them. You know how he did that? He used only 2 arrows. The first arrow he shoot at the feet of Bhishma Dev, or to offer his obeisances. And the other arrow that he shoot, he made everyone fall asleep. And Uttar's brother, told that my dear brother, when you defeat them, you bring their silk cloths and ornaments and all those things. So Uttar went and collected all those stuffs and came back. When they came back to their senses, then Duryodhana became excited. Oh, this Arjun, so we caught him. So another 12 years of exile and 1 year of incognito. But Bhishma Dev said, bad luck, Duryodhana. That 13 years is just over. So although 13 years were over, according to the calculation, but Duryodhana didn't want to accept it. That's why he said, no, I won't give the kingdom back. So they have to fight if they want to take their kingdom. So in order to stop this battle, the fratricidal battle, everyone tried. Bhishma Dev tried, Dronacharya tried, Gandhari tried to make him understand that give their kingdom back, don't fight. But Duryodhana wouldn't listen to anyone. Maitreya Rishi came, and Duryodhana, instead of listening to him, he even insulted him. So Maitreya Rishi cursed him. Finally, Krishna came with a proposal in order to stop that battle. Came with a proposal from the Pandavas that you don't have to give them half of the kingdom. Just give them 5 villages to the 5 brothers. They'll be satisfied. But what was Duryodhana's response? Without a battle, I am not going to give them the piece of land the size of the tip of a needle. So the battle now became inevitable. Not only that, Duryodhana even wanted to capture Krishna. When Krishna came as a messenger with a proposal, Duryodhana thought now Krishna is alone, and if we capture him, then the Pandavas will become without shelter, because Krishna is their main support. So he thought of arresting Krishna and keep him imprisoned. And at that time, Krishna showed him his universal form. So that made Duryodhana to retreat. But Duryodhana was so wicked, like we can see that a wicked person, no matter whatever they hear, no matter whatever they see, they don't learn. They don't succumb to the wise advice. Although he saw Krishna's form, universal form, Duryodhana's response was, oh, it was some sort of magic. He showed some magic trick. At that time, Dhritarashtra asked Vidura, called Vidura and asked him what should be done. So Vidura came and Vidura told him that, look, if you really want your peace, want your auspiciousness, you want your good fortune, then tell your son to withdraw. You are actually cultivating misfortune personified in your palace, this Duryodhana. Actually, Vidura, when Duryodhana was born, he advised Dhritarashtra to get rid of him. He could see that this person is going to be the cause of the destruction of the whole family. So Vidura then, and here also Vidura gave him the same advice, right in front of Duryodhana and his allies and his associates. In the middle of the assembly, Vidura was fearless. This is the quality of a Brahminical person. He is not afraid of telling the truth. So he told that this person, see, Yudhishthira Maharaj is extremely powerful. He's extremely powerful because he is supported by Bhima in one side and Arjun on the other side. The most powerful person and the greatest warrior of all time. And on top of that, Krishna is in their favor. So who can ever defeat them? Dhritarashtra, just try to understand that your son will never win. Rather, you're going to lose everybody and everything. And as I told you all the time, get rid of this son of yours. So at that point, Duryodhana just stood up and started to insult Vidura, saying that this son of maidservant, look at his nature, whose food he is eating, who is being maintained, those who he is being maintained by, he stands up against them. So get rid of him. Throw him out of this palace with only his life heir with him. So at that time, Vidura left home, dropping his bow and arrow. And he went out on a pilgrimage. So then eventually, after a long time, this is the aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam. He came across Uddhava in Prayag, and he was very happy to see Uddhava. Uddhava, how are you? How is everybody? Then Uddhava told him that Krishna left the planet, Jadus killing each other, fighting with each other, the whole family has been destroyed. He was the only surviving member of the Jadu family. Then Krishna left, Balaram left. Then when Yudhishthira Maharaj got to know about it, he also left his palace and gave up his body along with his 5 brothers in Mahaprasthan. So hearing that, Uddhava just kept on crying. Then Vidura started to cry. Then Uddhava told him that before leaving the planet, Krishna actually advised him and asked him to go to Badarikashram. And so that is why he is, after pilgrimage, he is on the way to Badarikashram. So then Vidura told him, will you please instruct me? Will you please tell me what Krishna told you? The instructions that Krishna gave you, will you also give me the same instructions? Then Uddhava said, no. Krishna actually instructed Maitreya Rishi to instruct you. So in course of time, Maitreya Rishi will give you the instructions. So that's why Vidura actually was eventually met Maitreya Rishi in Haridwar. And Maitreya Rishi instructed him. That is a good part of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is known as Vidur Maitreya Sambad. A lot of things that I have told in 2 days, yesterday and today, is coming from the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. Maitreya Rishi's advice or instructions to Vidura. Maitreya Rishi is telling the stories or anecdotes starting from creation. Eventually, Mahapuran has 10 symptoms. Srimad Bhagavatam is a Mahapuran because it contains 10 aspects. Creation, sub-creation, sarga, visarga, sthana, the planetary systems, the structure of the universe, you can say. As the point came up, the universe has 14 planetary systems situated in their respective positions. Poshanam, maintenance. Utayo, the aspect of procreation. Manwantar, the reigns of Manus. Ishanu Katha, the descriptions of the incarnations of the Lord. Then Mukti, Nirodha, Ashraya. Liberation, cessation of the existence, and Ashraya, shelter, or Prabhupada translated this Ashraya aspect as Samam Bonam, the ultimate benefit of everything. So in this way, so through this we can see like how through Maitreya Rishi's descriptions, it's actually starting with the creation, sub-creation, as I was saying, contractor and interior decorator. Sarga is the creation and Visarga is sub-creation. Sthanam, planetary systems, Poshanam, how the Lord maintains everything. So Vidura had the good fortune of coming across Maitreya Rishi. And Maitreya Rishi, these are the parts of the initial part of Srimad Bhagavatam is actually Parikshit Maharaj, or rather Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj about it's a Vidura Maitreya Sangbad. Vidura is asking and Maitreya Rishi is answering the questions. So, okay, so now today we can go in for question answers maybe, because I noticed that question answer goes on for there are quite a lot of questions coming in, and also we have 40 minutes now. So we can just use this 40 minutes for question answers.
How come Bhishma didn't give Amba to vichytravija? Because she had been captured for him, so...
It was, you see, the thing is that she said that she has given her heart to somebody, Shalda. And now the consideration is Bhishma has accepted you, took you by your hand. So Bhishma should actually have you. So that's why.
Maharaj, is there any past to Duryodhana's previous birth?
Is there any?
Any past birth?
Duryodhan. Duryodhan has been described as the incarnation of Kali. Yes.
You spoke Vidura as Dharmaraj.
Yeah.
So my question is, what is the difference between Yamaraj and Dharmaraj?
Yeah, Jamraj is Dharmaraj.
The same, and both the duties also the same, tradition?
Yeah, actually Dharmaraj means Jamraj. Huh? So Vidura, Jamraj, was cursed by Mandava Muni. And as a result of that, he had to take birth as a Shudra. That's Vidura.
Thank you, Sri Maharaj. You mentioned Shikhandi. I've heard so much. Shikhandi actually was born as a girl. Could you explain a bit more about that, please?
Yeah. She was born as a girl, but then she changed her sex by the mercy of a Gandharva. Like, yeah. Yes, Atma Ananda, pechone niye na.
Was Duryodhana your devotee?
What makes you ask that question, tell me? I mean, what makes you think that he could be a pure devotee?
Because I understood that all the characters in the Mahabharata were an arrangement of the Lord. So that would indicate...
Okay, yeah, so good. Yeah, ultimately, these pastimes of the Lord are like a drama on a stage. So, in a way, it's like a drama on a stage. And say, when a king organizes a drama, who plays different roles? Just any Tom, Dick and Harry? Or king's own people? Yeah, even the villain is king's own people. Right? And outside the stage, they all are friends. The villain and hero, on the stage it seems to be they are such, so inimical to each other. Like sometimes it happened in Calcutta, the villain played the role so well that people started to throw shoes at him. Generally people side with the hero and the villain is opposed to the hero, So here is the case also. And we can also see what actually happened in the battle of Kurukshetra. Whoever left his body in the battle of Kurukshetra in presence of Krishna, where did they go? They all went to Vaikuntha. So, yes, in a way, you can say outside the stage, not as Duryodhan, because if we think that Duryodhan is a pure devotee, and if everybody starts to follow his example, then we'll be in trouble. So from these act dramas, we learn two things. We get two aspects. The drama has two purposes. One purpose of a drama is entertainment, and the other is education. Through the drama, Krishna is teaching what happens when one surrenders to him and what happens when one goes against him. He is playing this drama with his own people, but eventually it's a drama. And those who are playing different roles, they're his people. Like just consider, who is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha? Joy and Vijay. His gatekeeper, his eternal associates. Thank you. There are some questions here. Okay, so this question is from Smita Krishna. I think Sunil Mohan, you had this question. Dear Guru Maharaj, Pamho, AGT, your divine AGT, your divine grace. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Question, with reference to the second times Lord Brahma began when the life of information sampradaya of Lord Shiva fit in. Thank you. Okay, it's your handwriting. Tell me, what was the question? They say that doctors' handwritings, only the compounders can read.
The reference to the two lines Lord Brahma began.
Okay, with the what's that? With the reference to the
Reference to the two lines of Lord Brahma.
two lines of Lord Brahma
The
mean?
two lines Lord Brahma began. Where is the line of information and sampradaya of Lord Shiva fit in?
Okay. Two lines meaning, okay, two streams, Upanishads and Puran, where Lord Shiva fits in. Lord Shiva actually is coming in the sampradaya of Shankarshan, the Rudra sampradaya. He has his own sampradaya, right? And Rudra sampradaya is a Vaishnav sampradaya. Ultimately, they all are going to the spiritual sky. So Lord Shiva is not making any, his associates are Bhuta, Preta, Pishachas, etc. But his line of teaching is Rudra Sampradaya, which is one of the Vaishnav Sampradayas that ultimately goes back, takes one to Vaikuntha. Yes, Hemanga? When?
When Vidura left after getting exported from Hindustan, what happened to Mother of God?
When what ends?
Vidura left.
Oh, when Vidura left. Yeah.
What happened to Mother, his wife?
His wife. I don't know. Like maybe, naturally, he was a part of the royal family. So she was maintained naturally. But, yeah. This is from Radha, who is okay. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. My question is, what is the meaning of Manwantar? Okay. Manwantar means the reign of a Manu. You see, there are 14 Manus in a day of Brahma. So they come and take charge of the affairs of this world for that 71 Chaturjugas. That 71 Chaturjuga period of a Manu's reign is called Manwantar. Is that all right? Okay. Okay. Chitta Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much. As we know that Kshatriyas act on the advice of Brahmanas or spiritual master, so why Bhishma rejected the instruction of Parashuram and rejected him also, considering him not fit to be a spiritual master? Yeah. So, you see, spiritual master or the Brahmana or a superior has to be followed only as long as his instructions are appropriate. When the instruction becomes inappropriate, then the consideration can be of rejecting him. So that's what Bhishma said. And another thing to consider here, that Parshuram was his Shiksha Guru, Astra Shiksha Guru. He, not his spiritual Guru. Okay. From internet, few questions. Let me see. Question from Marian. As Kshatriyas attacking the suitable candidate for the girls, I think you said that is nature of a Kshatriya. I'm confused. Does this mean Kshatriyas are by nature envious? Yes. Like the mode of passion is like that. I want it, I want it. When somebody else gets it, I'm not happy about it. And like, why should we even consider Kshatriyas? Do you use cricket match, Marian, here from England? Or do you watch football match? When a team makes a goal, then what do the other opponent feel like? Right, take revenge. You scored one goal, I'll make two. And this is how the battle goes on. Those days they used to fight literally, but now they fight in a subtle way on the playground. Or when there is, say, boxing or wrestling, then they fight in a real way. But that's nothing like this wars that the Kshatriyas used to get into. So that war is either I die or you die. They don't say either I die. I live, you die. Srimati Radhika Devi Dasi, Hyderabad. Please accept my most humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to your holiness, Guru Maharaj. Sometimes we find some historical episode externally not so exemplary. How to take them? Yeah, like use your intelligence and accept whatever is favorable to your Krishna consciousness and reject whatever is not. Anukullasya sankalpa, pratikullasya vivarjanam. Not that whatever you hear, you have to accept it, or whatever you read, unless it's from the scriptures, then you have to use the intelligence. Another question from Srimati Radhika. Gurudev, sometimes we find some historical... Okay. Same question. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Yudhishthir was always righteous and truthful. How could he stake his brothers? Was this not against dharma? What lesson has been taught through these pastimes? This is from Nishingananda. Yes, he was righteous, and that's why he accepted. When he staked and he lost, he said, fine, I lost it. That is the sign of his righteousness. What he was taking, that is a game, part of the game. In the game, one can stake whatever belongs to him. So in the Vedic culture, the brothers, younger brothers, belong to the elder brother. So in a way, yes, their elder brother's property. So if the elder brother wants to stake, like as we are seeing, Yudhishthira Maharaj had the right to do that, and he did it. And another thing is that shows the danger of gambling. So Kali Yuga is about to begin. That's why this example has been cited. Gambling is extremely dangerous, especially in the age of Kali, where people are going to be naturally untruthful. It's not a fair game of dice, it's a cheating game of dice. So this one is from Ram Govind. Who is Ram Govind? Okay. Why did Vichytravija not accept Amba as is one of his wives? I have answered this. Did you hear the question answer? I have already answered it. That, you see, it was not up to Vichytravija. Amba said that he already gave her heart to Shalva. So that's why he was sent back to Shalva. But then Shalva didn't accept and said, you accept Bhishma, because he took you. And so when she approached Bhishma, Bhishma refused to accept her. So the thing was going on between her and Bhishma. So there was no consideration of Vichytravija. He was not in the picture. This is from Palika. Where is Palika? Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for the class. I just wanted to clarify a point you made earlier. In Vedic culture, women are better to stay at home and learn how to be a perfect wife. If I have understood correctly, does this mean we should not qualify ourselves with material qualifications such as MBAs? If so, will that not become more difficult to become married? Well, you see, time has changed. Situation has changed. Those days, I mean, say for example, even few years back, 50 years back, no women went to work outside. At the most, they would become teachers, but not office work. Women would not go and work outside in offices and all. I mean, that's I'm talking about 50 years back. Even in the UK, you can see that. When you read the early books of early writers like Jane Austen, George Eliot, do you find any woman going to office to work? So that shows. Even in England, women didn't go to work. As I said, they were, at the most they would become teachers or nurses. Even during the Battle of Crimea, There was no nurses. When Florence Nightingale wanted to go to the Battle of Crimea to nurse, I mean, there was a big objection. Why should a woman go to the battlefield? To she was the first woman who became a nurse. Otherwise, the nurses were all men. But in 50, 100 years, things have changed so much. Now, as you said, like if a girl doesn't have MBA, she can't get married. That's what you said. Yeah, right. If a woman doesn't have a qualification, it becomes difficult for her to get married. Right. But if the husband is intelligent, he should not look for a too qualified, materially qualified woman. Because then she won't be submissive. Isn't it? Ananta Prem. Okay. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I have understood that the kingdom of Shantanu was the Moon dynasty. I am confused on this. Please, I have heard that Jadava dynasty is the Moon dynasty. Yeah, both are. Kuru dynasty, Jadu dynasty, they're coming from Moon God. So originally it started there, but then it branches off also. Ramanuja Krishna Das, India. Thanks for your enlightening discourse. I am Ramanuja Krishna Das, Indore. Guru Maharaj, in the Dhruva Charitra, which Purana has this shloka, Swamin Kritarthosmi Barang na Jache. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. That I am completely indebted, I have been completely successful. I do not want any more benediction. Esh Govinda, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, among 4 regulative principles, one is no gambling. Why would Yudhishthira Maharaj play the game of dice when it is breaking 4th regulative principles? Yeah. You see, certain things that are forbidden now, for Kshatriyas it was allowed in some occasions. Like the Kshatriyas allowed to drink. The Kshatriyas allowed to eat meat. But that eating meat was sanctified meat. The animals that have been sacrificed and have been elevated to the higher situation, that meat was eaten. Another thing is that the Kshatriyas, when they're fighting, then they have to resort to, meat. When the Kshatriyas go out hunting, the Kshatriyas are allowed to eat meat. Kshatriyas are allowed to drink, but in different occasions. Not take a bottle of whiskey and start drinking in the morning. No, not like that. And your second question, as you mentioned that Pandavas and Draupadi were put at stake in the game of dice by Yudhishthira Maharaj. How could Yudhishthira Maharaj, being a devotee of the Lord, put his own family members at stake in a gambling? So you got the answer? I already. Like, you see, the Kshatriyas are allowed to indulge in certain things. Like gambling is one thing, that he is allowed to gamble. And because that is, conducive to, that is, their propensity, their nature is like that. Like, their whole life is a gamble. When they go to a battlefield, it's a gamble. They may not come back home. That is how they used to live their lives. And here, a Kshatriya has the right to put anything in stake that belongs to him. Since it's a Vedic culture that the younger brothers belong to the elder brother. So the elder brother had the right to put him on a stake. I mean, in a gamble, place as a stake. This is from Giant. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. My question is, although Mother Ganga has no fault, still she has to come down to fulfill King Shantanu's desire. So is it like that even if their desire for others, desire for you, then also we have to come back to this world? So is it like that even if others desire for you, then also you have to come back? Here we have to understand that Ganga was instructed by Brahma. That's why Ganga came. Otherwise Ganga wouldn't have come. But since her authority, Brahma suggested, look, Ganga, he desired you. So not that, Shantanu desired and that's why Ganga had to come. But Shantanu desired, Brahma thought, okay, let him fulfill that desire. And also, as I said, it's like a drama. The plot is, one plot leads to another plot. Ganga had to come because of these 8 Vasus. So, Leelananda Das. Can you identify? Okay. Dandavat Pranam Guru Maharaj. Didn't Bhishma Dev commit Guru Aparadh fighting with Parasuram? No, because Parasuram challenged him. Bhishma didn't want to fight with him. Parasuram challenged him. That's why he fought. Mohit. Dearest Guru Maharaj, in previous session, you very wonderfully explained the importance of brahmacharya and Srila Prabhupada desire for his boys to remain brahmacharis. Remaining brahmacharis throughout life appears very exciting. I personally feel much attracted to the brahmacharis, for they have full time for serving Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, as a student, what should be my practices and dealing and consciousness to serve the mission? Please enlighten. So when you are a student, when you are studying, study. Whatever you're doing, do it well. Right? When you finish your studies, then you can decide. Right? And also right after finishing your studies. After finishing your studies, work for 2 years. Alright? And then after 2 years you decide. Okay. If you feel that life is so wonderful, then stay there. But if you feel that life is so hellish, then it'll be helpful for you to become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. Because then you would know that how terrible that life is. Okay. Sunya. Who is Sunya? Bhubaneswar. How do you spell your name? Oh, okay. I see. I was wondering what is Sunya. It's Surya. Yeah. Okay. Dear Guruji, Parshuramji is one of the avatars. Yes or no, Guruji? If so, then how in form of a Shiksha Guru, even his instructions are refuted by a divine disciple like Devavrata in the name of a vow for personal reasons only, that is for a dynasty only, which disproves Vedic standard and Guru-disciple relationship. So as I mentioned, okay, now a new point is coming up. Parashuram as an incarnation. Parashuram was a Shaktavesh avatar. He was empowered incarnation. He was not the Lord himself appearing, but a jiva soul empowered by the Lord. That is called Shaktavesh avatar. Parashuram was a Shaktavesh avatar. Shaktavesh avatars are jivas. In order to accomplish certain mission, they are empowered by the Lord, specially powered by the Lord. And when that purpose is served, then that power is withdrawn. Parashuram's power was withdrawn by Lord Ramchandra. When Parashuram challenged Lord Ramchandra, when Lord Ramchandra broke the bow of Lord Shiva, then Parashuram came and challenged him. And at that time, Lord Ramchandra took the potency that he invested on him from him. And since then, Parashuram has become, in simple words, he lost his potency that he was empowered with. Okay, here the point has been made again and again that Parashuram instructed in a way which was not right. Somebody took a vow that he is not going to get married. He'll remain a celibacy all his life. Now, if somebody forces, no, you have to do it because I'm your guru, you have to listen to me. So Bhishmadev considered that you may be my guru, but the thing is, the way you are instructing me, that is not befitting a guru's instruction. So that's why he rejected. Said that that kind of guru should be rejected. Karunika Devi Dasi, Pranam Guru Maharaj, in the story of Mahabharata, when Draupadi was brought dragging by Dushashan, why elder of the Sabha did not object. Her husbands were slaves at that time, but Bhishma and Dronacharya, elders, why kept quiet? Please explain. Yeah. You see, the Vedic culture is that when you are subordinate to somebody, you don't go against him. Nobody stands up against the king. Because going against the king means revolting. Revolution is the worst kind of crime. So that is one consideration. There is another consideration in this respect. That when Bhishma Dev was instructing all these wise, giving all the wise instructions to Yudhishthir Maharaj, Draupadi was smiling. So Bhishma asked Draupadi, why are you smiling? Then Draupadi said, where was your wisdom when I was dragged in the assembly in front of everybody and humiliated in that way? Then Bhishma said, those days I was eating the food of Duryodhana. And that's why my consciousness became contaminated. But now that blood has been drained out of my body. I told you not take any more. Already quite a few. Now that the blood is drained, that contaminated blood is drained out of my body. Therefore, now my consciousness is clear. Yeah, that question always comes. Why Bhishma didn't protest? Why the elders didn't protest? And they didn't protest because Bhishma was confused. Draupadi asked Bhishma. And Bhishma said, I am bewildered. I don't know what to say. The question actually was, Draupadi asked, did Yudhishthir Maharaj stake me after he lost himself or before he lost himself? So her point was, before he lost himself, then what right does he have to stake me? Mukul Srivastav. Oh, okay. Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, I submit my two questions. Is the cursed Vasu was reborn as Bhishma, you mean? Huh? Bhishma, how do you spell Bhishma? Bhishma, how do you spell it? Okay, then? Then? Where's the MA here? Okay. Okay. Yes. The one of the Vasus is Bhishma who stole the cow. One of the Vasus became Bhishma. Bhishma Pitamaha led a life full of sacrifices. Why his end was so pathetic? Like pathetic, like we have to understand that before death, if there is suffering, it's actually good. Because then you get completely sick and tired of this material nature. If you suffer too much, do you want to come back to that situation? So that's why it is said that it's good to suffer before dying. And then you wonder, when am I going to leave? When am I going to go out of here? Right? Then you don't think, when am I going to come back here? Jamuna Priya Devi Dasi, dear most Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances at your soft lotus feet. How can I thank you for your classes? I personally find Draupadi's story life quite painful, especially the gambling match episode. I understand that Bhishma was or had to act loyal to Duryodhan. You wonderfully narrated how Bhishma Dev pretty much bent over backwards to keep his vow. Dear Guru Maharaj, how is it then that Bhishma, who was so staunch a person on principles, said nothing during Draupadi's disrobing episode, especially when she pleaded to him in her destitute condition? How do I understand this? So you got the answer. Okay. Anirudh Sarup Das. Okay. Is Srila Prabhupada Shaktavesh avatar? Prabhupada can be seen as Shaktavesh avatar, but if you ask me, I'll say Prabhupada is much greater than a Shaktavesh avatar. We don't know who Prabhupada is. Once Prabhupada was asked and Prabhupada said, if I tell you, you'll faint. What does it mean? Did anyone faint when he said Prabhupada is Shaktavesh avatar? So from that you can make out.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much everyone for patiently hearing. Now we have quiz for all of you. So in the chat you can just send the answers in the chat only. Okay, the first question is, yeah. So the first question is, Dash was the journal of Virat Kingdom. Pichak, Dhichak, Kichak, none of above. Okay, everybody knows the answer, I think. Okay, this is the correct answer is Kichak. So the next question is, a Mahapuran has dash aspects starting with dash and ending with dash. So three blanks are there. A Mahapuran has dash aspects. You have to give all the three answers which Guru Maharaj told. All the three answers. Okay. We got few answers. Yeah. So the complete answer is given by Yog Nilay Prabhu from Surat. Hari Bol. 10 aspects Mahapuran hai, and Sarga is the first and Ashra is the last. Thank you. So next question is, Yamraj was cursed by dash and he had to take birth as dash. Both the answers. Both the correct answers. Okay, few answers came, but they are not. Okay, yeah. Okay. So let us see what is the correct answer. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Mandavya Rishi and Vidura. Yamraj was cursed by the Mandavya Rishi, and Yamraj has to take birth as the Vidura. So next question is Duryodhan was described as the incarnation of first envy, anger, greed, none of a. Okay, very varieties of answers are coming. Envy or D, greed. Some people, some devotees telling D, greed. Okay, let's see what is the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is none of above. So what is the correct answer? Anybody knows? You can just type. Yeah, okay. Chetan Vaishal is the Kali, is the incarnation of Kali. Okay. Fifth question. During Virat war, Arjuna shot first arrow at dash and another two. Fast, quick. Okay. Okay, there are two answers. Two answers together. Okay, yeah. Sundar Damodar Prabhu shot first arrow at the feet of Bhishma Dev and another to fall all sleep. Thank you. The last question is instructions. Guru Maharaj gave an instruction. Whatever you are doing, dash, just do for the sake, do it anyway, do it well, all of the above. Okay. The correct answer is given by first Anand Chaitanya Prabhu. Do it well. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining for this weekly association of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. And we look forward to have your association next week. Thank you very much for joining. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.